Welcome to Joy of Business with host Simone Milasas, a dynamic business leader with a difference. Simone has founded and operated many businesses from a young age and has always done business differently. Today, Simone is the worldwide coordinator of Access Consciousness and travels the world presenting Joy of Business programs using access tools and empowering people to know that they can create business in a different way and make money doing it. Simone Milasas, weekly on OMTimes Radio.
Hi everyone, you're with Simone Milasas on Joy of Business, and you've got like double whammy. It's like last week you had me and Brendon Watt, and this week you've got me and Brendon Watt. How does it get any better than this, and how did you get so lucky?
I thought we were separating them more.
No, we're doing 2 weeks in a row. We're just giving people the full punch. So this show is called, Is Your Relationship Your Business or Your Business Your Relationship? What the hell does that mean? So, I mean, one of the things I always talk about that, you know, if you wake up in the morning and okay, slow down, Simone. You wake up in the morning and it's like, you know, if you wake up, you're in business because your life is your business is your life. And it's like, if you look at, most people sort of go, oh, I'm not in business because I don't own a business, or I work for somebody else, or, you know, or I'm not interested in business, or they've got all these reasons and justifications for not actually creating their life. And it's like, what if you're willing to have a look at every single area of your life is your business, including your relationship? So everywhere that you've decided that sounds so clinical, or you destroy and uncreate it, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So, Brendon, how do you see this, that your relationship is your business, etc.?
Well, a lot of people make their relationship their number one business. So, in other words, they'll focus only on their relationship. And a lot of people will make their business their primary relationship. So, in other words, they'll focus only on their business. But what if you could have it all in your life, including business, including relationship, including whatever the hell it is that you love to do, and they could all come together in creating what it is you'd like to see. I mean, the way I see it, relationship is not your whole life. The way I see a relationship is it should be an addition. It should be something that magnifies what you're already looking to create, something that adds more possibilities to your life, something that makes you happier every day when you wake up. And the way I see business is exactly the same. It should do the same thing. It should add to your life. It should create more possibilities. It should, you know, make you happier. And if it's not, then you might want to look at, okay, well, what do I need to change here so that could be my reality?
I like that. What do I need to change here so that could be my reality? Now, one of the things that you'd always hear people say, though, Brendon, is, yeah, but I don't have a choice here because I have kids, or I don't have a choice because he's the one that brings home the money, or, you know, she's been with me for 20 years or something like that. And it's like, what sort of tools can you give to people?
Well, first of all, recognize that that's a choice. No choice is a choice. So saying I don't have choice here and I don't have choice in this situation because I don't earn any money, that's a choice. You're choosing to not earn any money. I don't have any freedom here because I have choice. That's a choice because you had kids. So that was also a choice. So recognize that you've made these choices. Okay, cool. I chose to have kids. I chose to have no money. I chose to do whatever. And like I said in the last show, is that takes you out of being the victim, and you can realize, okay, these choices have gotten me to where I am now. What choices can I make to change this, to create a different future? And what is it you're shooting for in business, relationship, whatever?
Hey, thanks for saying that too, because one of the things I've been talking about recently in classes and also with different people I work with, etc., is let's work backwards. Now, what does working backwards mean? It's like, if you've got, like, if you know what you'd like to have, you know what you'd like to create, then it's like, you know, aim for that and not make it like, this is it. This is like a conclusion of this is what it has to look like. But if you have some sort of target, aim, awareness of the future is probably the best way to describe it. If you have an awareness of the future of what you would like something to look like, then create from that energy. And now you work backwards. What would you have to institute today in order to have that occur? Okay, so like we were looking at the Joy of Business classes, and it's like, okay, so how many people would we like in the Joy of Business classes? And then how do we work backwards from that? And what do we have to institute today in order to have that occur? Now, it's the same thing with relationship. And it's like, what would you like your relationship to be like? And I remember one day when we were looking at, we bought our first house. And I remember Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, said to me, he said, oh, you're creating your future. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, well, you're making a choice that's going to create a greater future, by buying the house. And I remember in the foyer of our house, the one that we bought, I was standing on the steps and you were sitting on the couch, and I was freaking out because I looked at it and was like, oh my goodness, this is like the biggest commitment in the world, because that means that we have to stay together for, 50 years, 100 years, and grow old and have rocking chairs and all this sort of stuff. That's what I had decided buying a house was. And you looked at me and just went, honey, we can always sell it. It's just a business decision. And I was like, oh, phew, God, that was way lighter. I was like, that's easier.
I'm pretty sure that you're not the only person listening to this or on this that has that point of view, that once you get in a relationship, that means that you have to grow old. And I love the analogy of the rocking chair, because that just cracks me up, because I like rocking chairs. I want to sit in one now.
I was going to say, I actually like rocking chairs. So
I don't have to be old to sit in a rocking chair.
Yeah. Oh, they've got these great rocking chairs in Costa Rica at some of the places that you go to, and they're handmade and they're wonderful. It's like, so maybe we should get some rocking chairs to celebrate now. Everywhere that you thought you had to wait for the joy of rocking chairs for the future until you're really old, where you just join it and create it. We're writing on good and bad, pock and pot, all named shorts, boys and beyond. But so how many of you in a relationship think that once you're in a relationship, it has to be the way it is? And it's like, I am so grateful for Brendon and the Access Consciousness tools, in the fact that I know both of us look at our relationship as a choice every day. And it's like, okay, so, I mean, I literally, when we first started, seeing each other, would wake up and be like, okay, so truth, is this working for me today? Yeah, it is. And it's like, and there's so many different elements of it that sort of we had to deal with. Like Brendon at one stage was not working because you were a tradesman and you didn't want to do it anymore. And it was like, okay, so what if I gave him the space to actually create something different? So I know, I literally supported him and Nash, our son, for like 18 months. And that's like trips to Costa Rica and everything. But every day, like people, and the projections that were put upon me for doing that and put upon him were quite incredible. But we had the sense to go, okay, so something about this is really creative and it's also fun. So it's like every day I'd ask if it's a contribution, and I got a big, huge yes, it's a contribution. And then if I look at what we've created now, and it's like, it's quite incredible what we've created together. And it's one of the things I'd actually like to look at is, what does creating together look like? Because I talk to so many, quote unquote couples, and they have this definition of what creating together looks like. And it's like they think that they have to make all the decisions together, or they think that they have to, be together all the time in the same office or something like that. And it's like, that's not what it looks like. I mean, I would think that Brendon and I have an incredibly creative relationship that works together, and yet one of the ways might be like, Brendon, you are phenomenal at what you do with housing, like with building, with like you just did the renovations on our house, which are just absolutely stunning. And every single little thing, you see the whole picture, and what you do is brilliant. It's a brilliant work of art, is what I would say. And it's like, but I don't get involved in the choices or in the decisions, and it's like that would end up being crazy. I was allowed to pick the carpet and the curtains, I think. But even then, I was given a choice.
You got lucky.
On this one. I did get lucky.
On that.
But I still consider we created it together. I mean, I'd be off working, he'd be off working, but he'd also be creating this. And it's like energetically, and it's like, the energy that I would have been available for him and vice versa creates something enormous. And it's like Brendon said right at the beginning, which you've got to get this, is that a relationship when two people are actually you have more of your life, and it's like it's more of a contribution than not. That's when you want to be in a relationship, when it adds. I mean, I think Gary Douglas says if you can create 10 or 20 times more than what you can alone, then that's a great relationship. So everywhere that you've been looking for a relationship that actually pulls you down rather than allows you to create beyond your wildest imagination when you're destroying uncreative, right and on, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
And let's also tell them what a good relationship is actually based on.
Mm-hmm.
3 things. They're good in bed. They let you do whatever the hell you want. And they will provide or contribute to your money flows. That's it.
3 things.
And
that's it.
Most people hate that, but I think it's funny. So I like it.
I think it's brilliant.
So if you have those 3 things, but yet you have, your husband farts in bed, or your wife snores, or I don't know, whatever it is that bugs you. If you have those 3 things, you have the base that you can build a great relationship on. So look at, okay, do I have those 3 things? If not, is this person capable of providing them? And then all the other things are ridiculous, because if your husband farts in bed, then, okay, so everywhere I've been there and done that, I'll destroy and uncreate it. Because the only reason something annoys you is because you have a judgment of it or resistance to it. So I think this is a funny topic, because I just think it can be so simple, and it's been twisted into this thing of, like you said, we need to live together and everything needs to be stable and, and structured and all this. Relationship, from what I've seen and from all of the people that I've seen in relationships, that has never occurred. So what if you based your relationship off those 3 things and then use that as a platform and built from that?
I love it. I'm coming up with
Is your relationship, but I'm wondering, is your business good in bed?
What do you mean, is your business good in bed?
I don't know. That's why I was wondering it, because I was trying to compare it to a relationship, but then I was like, I don't know if I've ever been in bed with my business, or have I?
Yes, you have. I'm the joy of business.
That round chicken, brown cow.
Joyful. Exactly. So we are, guess what, Brendon? We're almost off to a break, but I just wanted to invite you guys to, Brendon and I we're going to do a telecall, and it's called Relationship, Are You Sure You Want One? So it's going to be lots of fun. I'm very excited about it. You've got plenty of time to sign up. It's not till July. It starts on Australia time zone, 11th, 12th, and 13th of July. It's our 6:30 a.m. in the morning, but you can, come on in the afternoon if you're in the US, etc. So if you want to know more about it, go to accessjoyofbusiness.com. And we're off to a break. We'll be back real soon.
And it's perfect if you want one, don't want one, or think you want one, or think you don't want one.
Would you like to make a difference in the world but don't know how? Do you think you'd have an easier time creating that change with or without money? Here's the thing. You have to be willing to value yourself and the services that you offer to start creating more money. My new online video course, Finding the Value of You and Your Business, is now online at udemy.com. Go to accessjoyofbusiness.com/Udemy special to get $20 off today.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Circle of Hearts Radio is a sanctuary on the airwaves. Join me, Grandmother Elia, in the circle on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, as I share information to both enlighten and nourish your soul.
The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is. The cutting edge of conscious radio. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Welcome back, everybody. You're with Simone Milasas and Brendon Watt, and we're talking about, is your relationship your business or your business your relationship? Now, I just came up with a process after the last little segment, so I'm going to run that first. What have you made so vital, valuable, and real about the trauma and drama of the business of relationship that keeps you from seeking and being the ease, joy, and glory of relationship? And everything at that is times a Godzilla, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. Oh my goodness, I think it's so funny that we're doing this show as a pre-record and there's so much energy on it. It's like, how many people are we tapping into that are actually going to be listening to this show in the future? So,
sorry,
what do you do with
chewing
these processes?
ice.
That's okay, you can chew ice.
And also, I think we're on a little bit of a sticky topic. Relationship.
You think? You think?
Have you ever talked to anyone who has clarity around relationship? I mean, we talked about ours at the beginning, and you were perfect, but I was hopeless at it. And if it wasn't for Gary Douglas, I'll tell you, it would have been tricky. But see, now I'm good at it because what did I just say? She's perfect, and I'm hopeless. Any men out there who
and
are
I know
listening
who's
to this,
lying.
Any men out there who are listening to this, you need to learn these things because you'll have a much easier life when it comes to a relationship. Just saying.
And also, I want to say, though, one of the tools for a relationship is to make everything about the other person. Now, this is one of the hardest things in the world to do. I know. And at one point, I remember being cranky, and I was just cranky, and I probably wanted Brendon to do something that he wasn't doing. But being a typical female, I was, talking from subtext or being subtext. And I was cranky, so I went across the road to the beach. We live across the road from the beach. And Gary Douglas happened to call me at that time, and he was like, hey, what's up? What's going on? And I told him, and I don't even remember what it was exactly, but he said, you know what you need to do? You need to go home, and you need to make everything about him. Now, that was the last thing that I actually desired to do, but I knew that every other single tool had worked, so I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Because I still cared about Brendon. I had, but there was something that I was just being a typical female going, he's not doing this. And the poor guy had no idea what he was meant to be doing. So anyway, I walked back and I went home and I walked in the house and I was like, okay, I can do this. And I made everything about him. And I just started talking about him, being grateful for him, telling him I was grateful and just making energetically everything about him. I am not kidding. Within 10 minutes, he was like, honey, what would you like to cook me for dinner? Would you like me to get you a drink? Here, why don't you sit down here? And I was like, oh my goodness. And I was like, this works. So as soon as you try and you make it all about the other person, they actually start making it about you too. And that's what starts what I would say is the energy of a communion. Because in truth, the definition of relationship means the distance between two things. So what if you weren't in a relationship? What if you actually had a communion, which is honoring? It's like having gratitude for each other. It's like trusting each other to the sense that he will always do what he will do and I will do what I do, not this blind faith trust. And being an allowance of each other. And as Brendon said before, it's like letting the other person do whatever the hell they want. It's like relationship is not about pulling someone back. And it's like being grateful that they're in your life, and it's such a huge contribution. Now what can we create? So everything at that is times a Godzilla, and we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So, and I got to say too, as Brendon was saying, yeah, go ahead.
Well, how serious have we all made relationship as well? And I apologise for the noise, but I'm inside making popcorn for your child. But how serious have we all made relationship when you strip away all these things and you strip away all the drama of it and the expectations and the projections of what your partner needs to be doing, then it can be like a joyful thing. which is quite amazing because, most of the people I've seen in relationships, it doesn't occur because there's so many, well, he should do this, they should do that. So what if you tried this? What if all the projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections that you have of your partner, of your relationship, and your business, you destroy and uncreate all that? Times you got doing, right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine, shorts, boys, millions. And every time those things come up where you're like, well, he should be mowing the lawn, or she should be doing this, or what, like...
She should be mowing the lawn.
I remember she should be mowing the lawn, exactly. Hey, in my perfect world, this is how it works. Bikinis, mowing lawn, you know what I mean? But I remember when I was in my last relationship where, and I was a tradesman, so I was hard work and I was being a man and I'd go to work and all these guys would have their awesome lunches packed by their wives or their girlfriends and I was like, oh, I don't get this. Like, why don't I get this? I'm out working hard and and in what way is that creating anything? So how many expectations do I have right now of what she should be doing for me because I'm at work?
Wow.
So these are the things that create the places in your life where it doesn't make relationship fun, it makes relationship difficult. So everywhere that you have projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections of your partner, your business, or your relationship, well, you destroy and uncreate all that. Times of God doing, right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine, shorts, boys, millions. Like I said, every time it comes up, try that. And hey, Simone, you're awesome. Doing this show, it's like giving these tools out is such a preview to what's available. And simple things like that, I see, is what are the tools that actually work for what you can use to create. If you use that one tool alone or the processes that we've said today alone and you ran them and actually use the tools, that's what kickstarts you into a different possibility with business or relationship or any area of your life.
I agree. I totally agree. And it is really easy, but you got to use these tools. I mean, it's interesting, the energy about that, like why wasn't your previous partner making you lunch? And the mowing the lawn thing. It's like, what's that cartoon thing you saw on Facebook one day? It was hilarious about the stop hugging me.
I think it was...
Do you remember?
Yeah, I think it was... a woman said to a man, why haven't you done this? And he said, I
heard you the first time or something.
I heard you the first time. You don't have to remind me every 6 months. Which
is
exactly right. A man is going to do what he's going to do when he's going to do it.
When he wants to do it. You yelling and screaming at him is not going to make him do it. It's just going to create separation, which is what the process that Brendon was talking about. So it's like what projections, right? The projection of something like, why isn't she making my lunch? The expectation, why isn't he mowing the lawn? Hang on, I just want to explain this process to them. The separation, because every time you have something like that, then you create a separation. And it's like, what if relationship wasn't about creating separation? And then what judgments do you have of you and of them? So everything that is times of God's jelly when we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of energy on this.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy on relationship. This is a big topic, and no wonder we're having 6-call telecall. Maybe we should have done it 8 for every week for 18 years or something.
Maybe that's what it might end up being. I know. Well, because the telecall starts 11th, 12th, 13th of July. So 3 telecalls, 3 days in a row. And then we were talking about doing this advanced one that you have to have done part 1. And someone on Joy Business team went, well, could we just make this 2 calls? And I went, no, we can't. And it's energetically, it requires way more than that. So we have to make it longer because it is a really big topic. And it's people, it's one of the areas that people try and get right so much. And I remember when you and I were first, dating, going out, whatever you want to call it, and your mother, after I think it was about a year, she referred to us, like said something about us being in a relationship. And for about a year, Brendon and I refused to admit we were in a relationship. We were just like, no, we're just friends, just like hanging out, just like, friends with benefits sort of thing. And that's the energy we had. And she went, okay, I've had enough. And she said, when I look at you two, she said, that's the sort of thing I'd like a relationship to be. And she said, but you guys say it's not a relationship. And she looked at us and said, so what the hell is it? And we were like, oh. And that's what
it's a business. It's a business.
Yeah,
it's a business.
Exactly. It's a business deal. So, and you do a deal and deliver. I mean, it's sort of like, okay, so what do I require of Brendon? And what does he require of me? And it's not about giving yourself up. It's about going, oh, okay, so there is like, why would I not desire to give Brendon, Nash, our dog, Max, what they require? Because it's like it contributes to me, but it's not about me giving up anything of myself. And vice versa, the same for Brendon. And it's like, he's always gifting to me in so many different ways. And it's like, but not that makes him less than. That contributes to me and contributes to us creating something together. A business, the relationship of business and the business of relationship. And everything that is times a Godzillion. Can we destroy and uncreate it? Right now, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So if you are interested in signing up for our class, don't forget to go to accessjoyofbusiness.com, search classes with Simone, and it will be there, okay? So in the next upcoming OMTimes shows, we will have some adverts for it. We literally just came up with it, last night. And I love the title of it, Relationship, Are You Sure You Want One? And as Brendon said, it's not just for people who are in a relationship or desire a relationship. It's like, have you actually been willing to have a relationship with yourself? It's like, and what does that look like? And it's like, what if you're willing to be honoring of yourself, be an allowance of yourself, have gratitude for yourself, trust yourself, and it's like, and create something greater than with you. And it's like, then you can actually create something greater than with somebody else. So we are heading off to another break, but please don't go away, because we're not going to go away. You're with Brendon Watt and Simone Milasas on The Joy of Business, and you're on OMTimes, and we look forward to talking to you after the break. How does it get any better than this?
Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
The Conscious Parenting Radio Show provides inspiration and resources for loving, empowering, and respecting your children and yourself. Join me, Timothy, every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time as we consciously explore proven ways of living together in happiness, health, and harmony.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Would your business and life like to be bigger? Would you like to have more fun with everything you do? Simone Milasas travels the world facilitating Joy of Business seminars. These classes are for you if you would like to create more money and joy, expand your business, and work smarter, not harder. Join her live or watch the online seminar from the comfort of your own home. Go to www.accessjoyofbusiness.com to register and for more information.
Connecting you with the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. You're with Simone Milasas and Brendon Watt on OMTimes, and we are talking about, is your relationship your business or your business your relationship? So which is it? What is it? And what would you like it to be? So I extended one of the processes that we did. Yes, my love.
Well,
mi amore.
one of the things I'd love to give you guys is some tools that we've used for creating our relationship. I get we have an hour here, and I get that, you know, maybe you guys can't afford to go on the telecall, or you can't make the telecall, and relationship's a big topic. I just like to give you some tools of what we've used, and one of the ones was, what does relationship mean to me? Okay, so what does relationship mean to you? Everything that is times a godzillion, where you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, point and talk, all nine, shorts, boys, meals. I might have to do this for half an hour, though. How many minutes do we have left? So what does relationship mean to? What does relationship mean to you? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What have you decided that relationship is that it isn't? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What does relationship mean to you? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, millions. What do you mean to relationship? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, millions.
Oh my
so
goodness.
What do you mean to relationship? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. One of the greatest tools that Access has, the greatest tool maybe, I mean, my favourite's the bars, because awesome, but is the clearing statement. So look at, okay, what does this mean to me? What does relationship mean to me? What does business mean to me? What does sex mean to me? What does whatever it is mean to me? And, okay, everything that brings up in your world, because you know how you'll ask, like, okay, what does being a mother mean to me? And you'll have this energy that will come up. Don't worry, if you don't feel it, it's okay. But something will come up in your world when you ask, okay, what does being a mother mean to me? All right, everything that is, times a godzillion, I'm going to destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And just when you use the clearing statement, and there's also, you've probably mentioned it, Simone, in the show, theclearingstatement.com will explain how, what it is, how it works, but it will go back in time to where you've made a choice to, okay, I hate being a mother. You might have made it 1,000 years ago, and where is that still creating a limitation in your world now? So what does being a mother mean to me? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and mountains. Oh, wow. I actually don't hate being a mother anymore. And it starts clearing away all those things that you may not have even done in this lifetime. And that was my spiel.
And one of the things I want to say too is this, so Brendon, when you're running, what does relationship mean to you, right? And then the next question, what do you mean to relationship? It's like, I mean, just because Brendon and I have a relationship that works doesn't mean that still doesn't run on us. And it's like, so, because even if you become comfortable and it's like, okay, so what if you had a great relationship and then you ran this as well? Because it's like, where have you defined great relationship? And it's like, so there's never this end sort of thing like, ooh, now I've got it down, I've got it perfect, I've got this. And it's like, no, relationship is a work in progress. It's a business in progress. And it's like, does your business...
It's also, sorry, it's also a work in progress because you're a work in progress and so am I. So I'll change daily.
You change every day.
Every 10 seconds, I'm a different person. So when I wake up in the morning, who the hell am I today? And so are you. So it's like, how could two people be in a relationship if they weren't the same people every day?
Exactly. And it's
how
like,
could two people be in business if they weren't the same business or person every day? So what if you're in a constant state of okay, what is this business today? Like, where do I need to put my energy with it? Who do I need to call? What do I need to do? Who is this person today? You don't need to call them because they're probably there, but, you get the point.
Maybe, but it's like that same thing. It's like the reaching out to connect with them. And it's like, okay, so what do they require of me today? And it's like, and what do you require of them today? And it's like, what if it was constant question?
They need to mow the lawn. Or she needs to mow the lawn. We have someone who comes in and mows the lawn, so we've shut that down. But hey, look at that. Like, if that is something in your relationship that you're always arguing about, or like, why isn't he mowing the lawn, or why isn't she mowing the lawn? What if you paid, $30 or whatever it is to get someone to come and mow your lawn? Like, what if you looked at a different possibility and you didn't always have a projection, expectation, separation, judgment of your partner? And it's like, like Brendon said in his previous relationship when he was at work and was like, oh, why don't I have, a homemade lunch sort of thing to take to work? Okay, so instead of projecting or expecting that, what would I like to take for lunch today? I can guarantee you, Brendon is amazing at cooking and creating food, so you probably would have made a way better lunch anyway. So I used to eat at those smoko trucks, and anyone who's a tradesman will know what I'm talking about here, but they're those trucks that pull out in the front of the job site, and you can go out there and they've got what do you call it? Chico rolls and battered sausages, and like you just,
ooh.
It was funny. I'd eat that 5 days a week. I'd be like, yeah, battered sausage, all right, but I don't know.
Excuse me. So everything at that is times of Godzilla, and we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all named shorts, boys and beyond. So I sort of extended the process that we had. So I'd like to run that again. And if you can, get a piece of paper and pen and write it down. And it's like, run this over and over again. You can record it and even run it while you sleep, okay? Because what are you looking for? What would you like to ask for? So what have you made so vital, valuable, and real about the trauma and drama, seriousness, the projections and expectations of the business of relationship that keeps you from seeking and being the ease, joy, and glory of relationship? And everything at that is times of Godzilla, and we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all named shorts, boys and beyond. Okay, I'm going to do that again. So what have you made so vital, valuable, and real about the trauma and drama, seriousness, projections, and expectations of the business of relationship that keeps you from seeking and being the ease, joy, and glory of relationship? And everything that is times of Godzilla, and we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all named shorts, boys and beyond. Okay, once more, but you could run this over and over again. And the idea is, it's like, if you're listening to this, and it's like, if you can't hear me and all of a sudden it sounds like I'm speaking Greek, then we have your item. And it's like, how many points of view have you created around this? So what have you made so vital, valuable, and real about the trauma and drama, seriousness, projections, and expectations of the business of relationship that keeps you from seeking and being the ease, joy, and glory of relationship? And everything at that is times a Godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all named shorts, boys and beyond. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm doing it once more. What have you made so vital, valuable, and real about the trauma and drama, seriousness, projections, and expectations of the business of relationship that keeps you from seeking and being the ease, joy, and glory of relationship? Everything at that is times a Godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all named shorts, boys and beyond. I think you're right, Brendon. I think that we do need to do one of these calls for the next 50 years.
All right, so I have a thing. I have a thing right now that with our relationship is that you are running these processes now, I think I need to do the pod and pop because I'm feeling left out.
Okay, you can be the pod and pocker.
Would you do that? Wait, Simone, would you do that for me, please?
Of course, Brendon. Anything you desire.
See?
Okay, let's do it again then.
Lesson. Wait. We have a lesson there, people. So do you see that was not working for me because I was sitting here going, I feel left out. How am I going to deal with this? Am I going to say I feel left out, or am I going to ask for what I actually want and say, hey, Simone, in my dulcet voice, hey, Simone, could I actually run the clearing process because I feel left out right now? What if you could be like that in your relationship? See, because we don't have a point of view about it. She knows I'm joking, and I know that she will do it anyway. So, but we create that place in our relationship where it'll start to work. So I badge.
Well, and the one thing is too, I have no desire to leave Brendon out. Like, that's not my intention. And it's like, how many people out there, women or men, actually intend to leave their partner out of something? And it's like, that's where it's like, let them do whatever they want, but be willing to include them in everything.
Well, and how many relationships are you creating that have the controller and the one who's controlled? So your relationship is already split into two, where it's I'm controller and they're being controlled, or they're controller and I'm being controlled. So once you split a relationship into two, if it's not a meshed reality, if it's not something that can actually combine, if it's not something that can combine your creation, then you're not going to get the greater results. So how can I drop down my barriers? How can I be that person who's vulnerable with this other person I'm in relationship with or in business with? And how can we create something that is greater for the future?
Good question. How can we create something that's greater for the future? And it's like, and you don't have to work it out. You don't have to go, oh, it has to look like this, because that's when you're creating the conclusional realities of a relationship, rather than, as Brendon just simply did, was ask a question. What if you woke up every day and it was like, okay, so what would it take for us to create something greater today, greater than we've ever created before? And everything that doesn't allow that to show up, we destroy and uncreate it. Go.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all known short spoilers, millions. And after the break, we're going to touch on manipulation. We're going to touch on it.
Ooh.
Just a little bit.
Okay, we're going to touch on it. All right, I like that. So if you want to find out more, don't forget, where do you go? AccessJoyofBusiness.com.
Joyofbusiness.com
No, AccessJoyofBusiness.com and search Classes with Simone. All right, we'll be back really soon. Brendon Watt, Simone Milasas. Is relationship your business or your business your relationship? Have you bought into the idea that you have to work hard for your money, that business is hard? I will share some dynamic access consciousness tools to get you out of your own way so you can create a business that actually succeeds. Join me, Simone Milasas, on The Joy of Business at 4 p.m. Mondays Eastern.
As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is. Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
Hi, I'm Katrina Kavanagh, host of the I Am Wisdom radio show. I Am Wisdom is about the connection between mind work and energy work, spirituality, and living a wonderful life. Looking forward to sharing each Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with you.
Your conscious connection to a more mindful world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hey everybody, welcome back. You're Simone Milasas and Brendon Watt, and we're talking about, is your relationship your business or your business your relationship? And we left you on a bit of a cliffhanger, I think. Brendon was saying next we're going to talk about manipulation.
Yes. Well, I would start with asking, what does manipulation mean to you? Because I know for me growing up, manipulation was this terrible thing. Manipulation for me, I had the point of view that it was lying, it was deceitful, it was, it was all these things, but that it actually wasn't. So everything that you've thought about what manipulation is, that it isn't, we destroy and uncreate all that. Right and wrong, good and bad.
Yes.
Oh, I should let you do that then, so that we're in a
Everything that is
relationship.
times a godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond.
Oh, good job. So, rather than, when you get in a situation like before, which was a joke, which I thought was hilarious, was rather than when you get in these situations where you are like, well, someone should let me do this, or I should be doing that, or, why aren't they doing this? Okay, what would I need to say right now that will create a different result here? For me, I didn't care. I thought it was hilarious, but I wanted to make a point. So, Simone, can you, I feel left out here. Would you mind if I actually did these clearings? Manipulation, right? Because I'm saying something that is kind to her, it's kind to me, it's going to get what I want, but it's also going to add to my life and her life at the same time. So where are you not using manipulation to create your life and everything that is times a godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it?
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So how many people have a point of view of what manipulation is, though? And it's like, if you're not willing to manipulate, then you'll end up being the one manipulated. And I think myself and Emily Russell are actually coming up to do an OMTimes on manipulation, lies, lines, and manipulation.
Oh, look out.
So you might want to check that out, yeah. Because you manipulate every day.
If you want to learn how to manipulate, and this is the long road. This is gonna be hard. Have a child. So you're gonna have to do the 9 months pregnancy. You're gonna have to give birth. You're gonna have to bring them up, but then you'll actually learn how to manipulate. Because watch your children. Watch the way they create their lives, and it's a great way to learn how to manipulate. I watch my son, and he'll get whatever he wants, and I'm like, oh Jesus, why didn't I think of that? So you could either use these tools or go through 18 years of terror.
And what's one of the things that Nash says, I love it, he says that the easiest person he can manipulate is his mum, and then grandma, who he stays with a lot, grandma, and then me, and then dad. And he knows it. He knows who he can manipulate, and he knows what he has to choose, and he knows what to say, and he knows how to get what he wants. And it's like, are you actually willing to ask for what you would like? Like Brendon was saying, I mean, that's a really simple thing, him saying, hey, can I run the clearing statement? It's like, okay, it's asking a question, but how many of you go into this judgment? You go into the projections, expectations, separations, and judgments rather than just say, hey, I'd like this. Now, an even bigger topic, which we won't go into, but I just want to give you a little taste. What do you do in sex? Do you ask for what you'd like, or do you have projections, expectations, separations, and judgments of you and your partner and with sex? And it's like, what if it wasn't like that? What if you could actually ask for what you desire and require? And what if you could play and everything that doesn't allow you to do that and be that, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond.
Is this like subtext? Are you trying to give me a hint here?
No, my love. I love you.
Okay.
You're awesome. But you play with each other as well. And it's like, so how much do you, are you willing to have that energy of play? And it's like, what would you like in your relationship? Because if you're in a relationship, then it is your business. And it's like, you're in a relationship every day. And it's like, relationship is not the easiest thing in the world. And it's like, it's something that is a constant state of creation. Business is a constant state of creation. If everyone was going to be successful in business, they'd all be doing it. If everyone's going to be hugely successful and happy in relationship, they'd all be doing it and they would never leave. But it's like, so what if you had to create it? What if your choices, as Brendon said right at the beginning of the show, what if your choices created your reality? So what choices could you make today that would create a different reality?
Yep. And how many lifetimes have you had on this planet, and how many relationships have you been with with everyone that you run into? So all the relationships that you still have that you're still holding on to that are creating the relationship you're in now, or all the businesses you're still holding on to that are creating the business you're still in now, or you just try and uncreate all that?
Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond.
we're gonna be like a team. It's gonna be awesome.
We are the winning team.
Yeah, we'll be the team that wins always.
Exactly. Because we have no definition of what winning is. How many of you have a definition and a conclusion of what the perfect relationship is, of what winning is, of what living together is? And it's like, of what being together is. And it's like, what if you had choice about everything? I mean, at the moment, I'm in Paris and Brendon's at home at Phrygian Beach. And it's like, they both start with P. And it's like, but what if, we don't have this sense of loss or need because the other one is not there. Yet, but we have spoken this week, both of us, about saying that we miss each other in the sense of there's an energy that he is a contribution to me and vice versa that we like to have around us. But it's not a necessity. It's a choice, and we're totally fine on our own too. Like, he's fine at home, I'm fine in Paris, and yet recognizing that there is an energy there that he contributes. And it's funny because you don't even say it's not about the sex. You don't go, oh, okay, so I miss the sex, or I miss, X, Y, Z. It's not. It's an energy. And it's like, because Brendon will contribute to my life in every single way. And it's like, so that energy, you notice, is not around. And it's like, I like having it around, but I don't need it. It's not a necessity. It's like, I'm not less than without it. And it's like, how many of you have decided that if you spend any time, quote unquote, apart, that you become less than? And everything at that is times a Godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong,
good and bad, pot and talk, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. See? Talking over me again. Yeah.
And vice versa, how many times have your partner, left to go to work or do something else or whatever, and then you love being alone because then you don't have to be you?
Oh, that's another topic.
Yeah, and it's like, what if the business of relationship and the relationship of business was, what if you were being you 24/7? You didn't have to make yourself to be someone else when you're with them or be someone else when you're not. And it's like, I'm sorry. And it's like, if you're being you, that is one of the most attractive things in the whole entire world. Warts and all. So everything at that is time to Godzilla and we destroy and uncreate it.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot, all nine shorts, boys, months. You still doing it?
What am I going to... Okay, here's another tool. Brendon, what am I going to have to do to make up for the damage I've done?
Well, I have a relationship problem with my computer at the moment because it's frozen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bad computer. So
maybe I should
what I just asked Brendon,
kiss it or something.
Because I kept saying the process and he wasn't saying it. So then I said, okay, so Brendon, what do I have to do to make up for the damage done? Great line. Use it. And we know we're using it with each other when we use it. Okay, so what do I have to do to make up for the damage done? And it's like, and they'll come up with something and then do it. So let's run this process again before the end of the show. So what have you made so vital, valuable, and real about the trauma and drama, seriousness, projections, and expectations of the business of relationship that keeps you from seeking and being the ease, joy, and glory of relationship? Everything at that is time to destroy and uncreate it.
Yeah, I didn't know where to come in. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and talk, all nine shorts, boys and beyond.
How does it get any better than this? So we've got I think 2 more minutes to go. Is there anything else you want to leave the listeners with, Brendon? Any sort of questions that they can take away, or any tools, or what can we give them?
Well, what I want to ask is, and this is another tool for me, is, okay, so what do you guys require from us? And then I'll get an energy that will come up. And like I said, this, it may not be something that you can think about or whatever, but something will come up. So if you're in a relationship and you ask, okay, so what does this person require from me? And then something comes out of your mouth, play around with it. These tools require practice. One of the things I learned years and years ago was they need to be practiced. So if you're willing to, play around, practice them, work with them, then try that. Like, I think we've given you quite a few in here that you could, muck around with in different areas of your life and play with and enjoy it. Have fun with them and see if, do it for a week and see if your life changes. And then that's what I did. And it was like, oh, this works. That's cool. What else can I get? What if you're a child again when it came to business and relationship?
I like that. What if you're a child? Because it's like then you're not making it so serious.
No, you could just go and run around and have fun in business or in relationship.
I like that. All right, excellent. So let's just run around our relationship and see what we can create, because kids will create continuously, and it's like they don't have, they don't work out their day of what it's going to look like or be like, I must have this appointment and see this person and do this, or this person has to react in this way. And it's like they play. And then when they also get cranky about something, they get over it pretty quickly too. And it's like, so what if you were willing to be that? What if you were willing to be an allowance of you, allowance of your relationship, and allowance of the business of your relationship, and everything it doesn't allow that to show up, where you destroy and uncreate
and an allowance of you.
An allowance of you. Yeah, be an allowance of you. So, Brendon, we are at the end of our show. I am so incredibly grateful for you coming on here. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you next week, because I'll be home next week. And if you want to find out more, access joyofbusiness.com.
And don't worry, everyone, you're going to have different people on. It's not going to be us every week. Okay. Just
But if you like it, let us know, because I may be able to talk in